I had my own story, just of my own life, my own upbringing, my own background, and divorced parents and all that type of thing, growing up in inner city of Los Angeles, struggling, all of that. I was a teenage parent when I was young. My son was born like a month after my 16th birthday. Probably like all people, there's a time when there is no money, and then there's money, and then there's no money again. It's kind of how life works out. But I remember there was a time early on there was no money. And I think because of that, I really wanted to be very successful. I didn't know how to be successful. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. So I continued learning on my own, did tons of trainings, attended tons of seminars, spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in self-help, on books and seminars. I mean, you name it, I did it because I wanted to change my life. And it did work, over time. It was just like building a muscle. You have to keep working it. I was on a huge upswing. Business was going great, life was great. I remember I was 25 years old at the time, and I was making over $250,000 a year. And I remember I did what any normal 25-year-old kid would do. I bought cars and big screen TVs and, went to Vegas probably way too many times, more than I had to, but that was my life at the time. At 25 years old, I was living it up. I remember I bought a yellow Ferrari. I guess I wanted people to recognize me or pay attention to me. And I never forget this one day. I pulled up at a light. Normally, if you're in a yellow Ferrari, people tend to notice you. And they weren't looking at me. And I look over at the car next to me, which looked like to be the husband and the wife, and there was 2 kids in the back seat. And they had this little dog. The kids are laughing and the parents are just looking over, and they just looked like they were having such a good time. And I remember, I never forget this feeling of looking over and being jealous. Like, here I am, this kid, I'm at the top of what I thought was my life then, and I look over at these people probably living a totally average life. And I was very jealous of that because that was missing. My life was nothing like that. It was definitely not average. And that's when I realized that I was rich financially, what I thought at the time, but very broke emotionally. And that began my journey, my search to look for something more.
Like many other human beings, what prompts the question is often pain. The existential crisis of why am I here? Why is the situation the way it is? Growing up in a tumultuous, difficult situation caused me to wonder what I could do about it. Why am I feeling stuck at my job? Why am I feeling like a rat in a wheel cage or something like that, doing the same thing, getting the same results? How do I get out of that set of conditions and preconceptions so that I can get a different set of results? It starts by asking that question. There's no doubt that some of us grew up in environments that are very different, but all of us have the ability to take responsibility. And even if you've had a quote-unquote rough life, a lot of challenges, a lot of blocks on your path, you can meet that challenge.
There's billboards everywhere. Have you been in a car accident? It's not your fault. Call us today and we'll sue the pants off of them. Like, no one wants to take responsibility for anything that they do, for their behavior, for their driving, for anything. When you look at the masses, the average person makes tons of excuses in their life. But the primary person that they make excuses to is not to others, it's to themselves.
Well, I have a reason why I'm this way. Sure you do. However, where are you at right now? Do you want to make a change at this point, or do you just need a hug?
So many people will accept part of it. They'll say yes, but. And then as soon as they say the but, it denies what you just said yes to and presents what you really believe your excuse. The reason it's so hard for you, that's your excuse. Well, that excuse is not valid. You may think it's valid, but there's plenty of other people that have had equally as bad an upbringing as you've had. In fact, a lot worse. So I could sit down with any one of you, look at your excuse, and find a way to present an option.
Our perception of the world is massively distorted because our perception is only based on our own experiences, our own personal views, our own beliefs, and it's based on what we were taught and what we learned. And whatever we perceive to be true, whether it is true or whether it's complete BS, when we get out there, we will project that out onto the world.
Feelings of lack of worthiness. Don't be proud of what you look like. Don't be so confident. Bad programming comes in childhood and continues all the way through adulthood. And unless you go and you rewrite the story, you're going to have a repeat of the same type of story as you get older. It'll just be a more complicated, sophisticated version of it, but ultimately it'll be a sad story.
Those beliefs that we got in the first place were our subconscious accepting the fact that it isn't easy. Life is a struggle. Money's hard to make. All these beliefs we've heard from other people, we accept as being the way the world is. The simple truth is that our beliefs are not true in themselves. They become true in our experience if we believe them.
So if we have those types of beliefs that really wire up the brain, we must first identify, how can I go back and basically disconnect from that old view?
All of us have resistance somewhere. If you look deep enough, you'll find that place that you don't want to go, the place you don't want to look. It's too uncomfortable, it's too scary, and I would argue that that's where the hot stuff is. And then we can go deeper and find out about a person's identity. What is it that they believe about themselves that is causing them to behave that way? If you're getting poor results, less than desired results from your unconscious mind, it means that there's some bad programming in there. It means that there's some outdated software that needs to be updated and upgraded. And that's what NLP and hypnosis is all about. It's doing work to rewrite the software, rewrite the story, so that you can ultimately get a different story.
The important thing isn't our physical environment at all. The important thing is our minds. I know from experience we can set it in motion.
Many people don't always understand about how the world works and how energy works and things like that, but there are these energy waves everywhere, around us. A couple hundred years ago, somebody just figured out how to latch on to them, like radio waves. The energy was always there, and you can now talk from anywhere in the world to any other part of the world. And what I think people don't give themselves enough credit, we don't realize that we are the most powerful human walking, talking transmission towers on the entire planet. And just like your cell phone, that little box is constantly sending and receiving signals. But so are people. So much so that we could walk into a room full of strangers, not know anybody, see somebody way over on the other side of the room. We don't know the person, but something about them draws us to them. Why? We all give off this vibe. We hear that all the time. Oh, their vibe. They have a nice vibe, a good vibe. They have a weird vibe. And vibe is short for vibration. And vibration is the equivalent as frequency. We can have a high frequency or a low frequency. So many of us don't say, I'm in a high vibration or low vibration. We just say, I feel good or I feel bad. It's not just positive thinking, because I'm not a positive thinker at all. I'm not one of these people that just says, be happy all the time and think positive and all that. I'm not really one of those people. But I also do understand the power of holding a view or a belief, so much so for something you want, until fruition, until the thing is created.
And the key there is dare to dream and keep the end in mind. If we envision and imagine a greater, better life for ourselves, and we keep focusing on that vision, doubts and fears arise, and it seems the vision crumbles. But then we get back to it. I heard a wonderful thing a while ago that a plane is off course over 95% of the time. But the pilot keeps correcting over and over and over, and it reaches its destination. When I first heard of that, I thought, that's the story of my life. It just doesn't work to pray for something once, to ask once. The frustration and anxiety and excuses cancel out that wish. You got to come back to the wish, to the dream, to asking. Every day keep asking. Show me the next step to take. I do think 99% of the effective work I've done to transform my life has been internal. As Eckhart says in The Power of Now, get the inside right and the outside will fall into place. I am sensible and in control of my finances. I'm creating total financial success in an easy and relaxed manner a healthy and positive way, in its own perfect time, for the highest good of all.
When you get back to the realization, the understanding of the one thing that you have control over is your ability to align yourself with the thing that you actually want energetically. It just depends, how long does it take for you to align yourself with that thing? Because at first there's this like confusion or a doubt, and then you get to this point, it's like, okay, I think it's possible, babe. It's like, I think it is possible. You get to like hope. This is the positive thinking part of you. It's like, I hope this works out. And then you get to this other point, it's like, I really believe this is gonna work out. And then you finally get to this place of like, I don't care what or how this, but this is going to happen. This thing is done. It's complete. It's complete in my mind. It's complete in my body. It's complete in my soul. I am there before I actually get the thing. And you need to hold that alignment and give the world and people and things, circumstances, an opportunity to work out for you.
It's all about creating something out of apparently nothing. To me, I look at it as a completely magical process in a way. You don't have to use those words at all. You can just say strategic planning has its results, whatever words you want to use. But for me, what it does get down to is the basic, deep mystery of all of creation. We can channel that force, if you will, or we can ask for it. We can bring it into our minds.
There was a famous occultist from the Victorian era in England, and his name was Aleister Crowley, and he said, magic is the art, the science of causing change to happen in accordance with one's will. By visualizing that future moment, putting in a set of instructions, and then when I let go, turn my attention away from it, my unconscious mind will be drawn towards experiencing it. Effortlessly, easily. It will seem like the right thing to do. It will seem as though I'm compelled to do that. It'll be automatically arising from the way I've made sense of that reality moving forward. There are a lot of different ways to do this. Is it really magic? Depends on how you define magic, doesn't it?
My name is Dean Radin. I'm the Chief Scientist at the Institute of Noetic Sciences. One of the things that we do at this institute is study experiences that people report, very commonly, that challenge the prevailing scientific idea about who and what we are. And so these experiences range from simple intuition, like gut feelings, to psychic phenomena, to mystical experience. We're interested then in when somebody has a transformative experience of this type, and there's a pretty large range of them, and we also gain some sense that the experiences that they have are real and not just an illusion, then how do we begin to understand them? Most of what we do in the scientific sense is in the laboratory. We use methods like high-density EEG to look at brain activity. We use psychophysiological methods to look at how the brain and body are related to each other. We use methods in physics, methods in computer science, and statistics. So the magic I'm talking about, first of all, is not Harry Potter, and it's not Harry Houdini. Those are both fictional magic. I'm talking about the real stuff. So real magic consists of three categories. The first category we can call divination. So it's the idea that your mind can perceive through space and time. From a materialistic point of view, we don't know how that can happen very easily. From an idealistic point of view, it has to happen. It is the way things are. The second category I call force of will, which from a scientific perspective, we might use terms like mind-matter interaction or psychokinetic effects. And that's the notion that your intention, your will can manifest. It makes things happen. The third category is theurgy. In practice, it's about evoking spirits in ceremonial magic where you try to get spirits to do things on your behalf. So the reason I got interested in magic is because for most of my career, I've been studying parapsychological phenomena, telepathy and clairvoyance and so on. And after studying the esoteric literature, even just for a little bit, I realized that what we have been studying in the laboratory is exactly what people have called traditional magic. Divination is clairvoyance and precognition. Force of will is psychokinetic effects. Theurgy are phenomena like near-death experiences and mediumship. So because I was surprised at having spent almost 40 years studying these phenomena and not realizing that that is what traditional magic is about, I decided to write this book to express essentially what I discovered, which to other people might seem, well, of course that is the way it is. How did you not even know that? Part of it is because I went through the academic tradition, where we assume that a certain view of the world, and in that view of the world, ideas of traditional magic are laughable. It cannot be the case.
My background and interest in spirituality and science really is a lifelong passion, because I started as a young child being very aware of the fact that there is this deeper level of consciousness connecting all of us. I wanted to find out more about that and get into the science of it. So I chose to go to UC Berkeley, where I got my degree in physics, and my main focus of interest in the program had to do with quantum physics, which I found tremendously intuitive for me. There has been a lot of emphasis on the idea that magical thinking doesn't work, but actually it turns out magical thinking is pretty powerful, because in the quantum realm, the realm of imagination is the king. That's the foundation for everything. Consciousness is primary.
A lot of people who are attracted to magic in the first place, they don't care how it works. They don't even care about the debate over whether it exists. They just want to use it. So the two simple forms that have been used as far back as we can see in history, one is called writing magic, and the other is called sigil magic. So these are very elementary practices, but both of them have persisted throughout history, probably because they do something. So from a psychological perspective, you can say, well, the act of writing down what you want, that will just psychologically predispose you to seeing that happening. But the question is whether it actually does cause the world to be different. So that's kind of what we study in the laboratory. Not so far these magical practices, but things like that, where you make very strong intention and then you see whether it changes something in the world. Sigil magic is like writing magic, except that instead of writing something down, you make a symbol for the stand for the thing that you want. Once you have that shape, the symbol itself will remind you of the intention. You use whatever method is necessary in order to put all of your intention into that symbol and like push through the symbol to make it happen. And then, as is seen in the laboratory a lot, that there's something called the release of effort effect. That while you're pushing like crazy with your intention, nothing's going to happen. It happens when you release. So the sigil magic as well, you push really hard through the symbol, and then you might burn it, you might put it away in a drawer, you get rid of it somehow, so that you allow the intention to go do whatever it's going to do.
So some people think this is something weird, and what I'd like people to realize is that basically every time we make a choice in our mind, we're actually making a quantum jump. Quantum jumping is such a big field that there's a lot that falls within it. Everything from the placebo effect is, I think, an excellent example of it, to finding lost things, to suddenly having skill sets and abilities where you didn't have those capabilities before. These are all things that are possible. There's really no end in sight. Pretty much anything that you would wish for is attainable, because we're looking at the nature of reality itself and the way that you're interacting with it. So the steps involved. So how do you get a quantum jump from being in one state of being, maybe being sick, to being well, for example? That's a good one. The way that you can make that jump is to start by getting into that relaxed, energized state of being. So things that are conducive to that would be meditation, lucid dreaming. You can think of that as being in a theta state of mind. It's like a daydream state of mind. And just make that a regular part of your life so that you feel like, okay, this is how it feels to just not have any worries and feel energized and relaxed. The more you do it, also it gets easier, so that's good. Then the next step is to really feel that you're making a selection of where you'd like to go. Sometimes we don't know where we want to go. I like to then ask, how good can it get, and let that unfold naturally. You're talking to your subconscious when you do that. Your subconscious knows what's good. You will go to the right place. And so that's a natural way to guide yourself. But if you have a clear view, I want to get healthy, then you can have that picture in mind. to the degree your subconscious believes that's possible, that dictates the degree of success you're about to have. So I recommend keep an open mind. Read lots of stories and accounts of miracles, these magical happenings, these reality shifts. Third part is just act as if it already happened, and you behave accordingly. And it sounds crazy, but people experience what they're able